John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
It is Johnny Pantella, missing person. You telephoned this office about Hugh Brisbane, did you?
That's right.
Insurance? Is that your business?
I'm an investigator.
Oh, I see.
I was sent here by the company that wrote the bonding policy on Brisbane's firm. We heard he'd been reported missing.
Well, that's about it. Mrs. Brisbane filed a complaint with us last night. But how'd you hear about it so fast?
One of Brisbane's clients happened to be one of our insurance brokers. He reported it to us.
Oh.
Any leads?
Nothing so far. I'm going out to talk with Mrs. Brisbane in a little while. If you'd like to come along, you're welcome.
Fine.
We'll return to our program in a moment. But first, I'd like to say a few words about jamming. And I don't mean Mother's Preserve. During wartime, it has frequently been the practice of an enemy country to jam our radio communication. That is, to cut into our broadcasting with broadcasting of their own so that our radio messages cannot be received with any degree of clarity. There was a time when our civilian radio broadcasts were jammed too, unintentional though it was. As you can imagine, it was quite a mess, and still could be. Can you imagine what would happen today if there was no coordination among our many radio and TV stations, or if the telephone companies didn't cooperate? When radio broadcasting first began in our country, each station chose its own call letters, power, and spot on the dial. It wasn't long before 2 or 3 stations would try to come in on the same spot, and the poor listener couldn't understand a thing he heard. So, to get things organized, the Federal Communications Commission was born. Licenses were issued to each station and to qualified operating engineers. The same thing now applies to TV stations. Today, a radio or TV station may request certain call letters, and if no one else has them, the call letters are issued. But power and the spot on the dial are restricted by laws of nature, and the FCC engineers don't have much choice in what they tell the station operator he can or cannot do. With the telephone and telegraph, however, the situation is different. The FCC makes sure the rates are fair both to the company and to the consumer, and that all of the independent companies work together so that someone in Japan or Germany, for example, can call someone else in New York with practically no delay or trouble. So the next time you pick up a stateside broadcast loud and clear, or hear everything your family says to you over the telephone, just remember that you have the Federal Communications Commission to thank.
Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Cosmopolitan Bonding and Insurance Corporation, Cosmopolitan Insurance Building, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Brisbane fraud matter. Expense account item 1, $91.35. Airfare and incidentals between Hartford and Detroit. Item 2, $25 even, legal fee. Before I met Sergeant Pantella, I engaged attorney Robert E. Pearson to arrange for a court order impounding all of the records and books in the offices of Hugh Brisbane's small brokerage house. However, I moved an hour too late on that procedure. When I met Sergeant Pantella at the police station, he told me,
"We'll have to look at them first, Dollar. DA's office got out a court order first thing this morning."
Well, I wasn't trying to jump you, Sergeant. I didn't know how far you'd gotten. Just that we're always anxious to get that information on a case like this, so our auditors can get busy.
Yeah.
It's a $25,000 bond that we'll have to make good on if Brisbane's run away.
We don't know if he's done that, Dollar.
No, we don't. What are your ideas on this, Sergeant?
Well, I only talked with Mrs. Brisbane briefly. She told us she hadn't been home for 2 days. That was last night. The family doctor had already been there and given her a sedative. That's why I had to wait until this morning to get some details.
I see.
I have 4 men covering Brisbane's office force right now, and the DA's men are there, of course, on the books. I will be glad to give you a copy of their findings, maybe save your people some money. Almost 11. Now, what do you say?
Anytime. 40 minutes later, I was in the living room of the Brisbane home with Sergeant Pantella. Hugh Brisbane's wife was settled on a sofa in front of the fireplace. She was a small, stocky woman in her late 30s or early 40s. The clothes she was wearing, the house itself, the appointments of the room about her, all suggested a well-run, well-kept sort of life.
Of course. Sergeant Pantella, isn't it?
Yes. And this is Mr. Dollar from the insurance company.
Yes?
I represent the company that bonded Mr. Brisbane's firm.
Oh, really?
Naturally, we're interested in his whereabouts, too.
Well, is there anything wrong?
We don't know. It's just a matter of routine right now.
I feel much better today, Sergeant. I hope I can be of some help.
Mrs. Brisbane, on a case like this, there are standard questions that we want answered. Now, some of them are personal, but the information is necessary if we're going to proceed with any efficiency.
Oh?
I wanted you to understand that. Now, last night when I spoke with you, you said you hadn't seen or talked to your husband for 2 days.
That's right. I saw him at breakfast Tuesday morning, and that was the last time.
Did you know that after he left here, Mr. Brisbane did not go to his office?
No.
He wasn't there at any time Tuesday or Wednesday, as far as we can find out. Did he take a car?
No. He preferred the bus when the weather was like this.
About what time did you have breakfast with him Tuesday?
Oh, before 9 sometime. He always tried to be in his office by 10:30.
I don't want to frighten you, but can you think of any enemies that might want to do your husband harm?
Enemies? You? Oh, dear, no.
We'd appreciate it very much if you'd consider that question again, Mrs. Brisbane. It's important.
I really can't think of anyone who might want to hurt him. Or perhaps in his office, in his business, there's someone, but he never discussed what went on there with me.
Are you sure?
It was a rule. See, this is our home. That's his business. We just never talked about what went on in his office at all.
I see.
How long have you and Mr. Brisbane been married?
18 years next July.
Well, can you think of any reason why Mr. Brisbane might just walk out and not come back?
None whatsoever, Sergeant. Absolutely none.
You said that you saw your husband last Tuesday morning at breakfast?
Yes.
But you didn't report him missing until last night. Can you explain that?
Well, I wasn't here for dinner Tuesday night, and when I got home it was late in the evening. I presumed he was in his room sleeping. Wednesday, I was also out for dinner and came in late. It wasn't until dinner time Thursday that I became worried. I telephoned his office, and they said he hadn't been in for 2 days, and I telephoned the police.
Had his bed been slept in at all?
No. The maid told me that she hadn't made it since Tuesday morning.
Well, weren't the people in his office worried?
I suppose so.
Well, I mean, didn't someone telephone here asking for Mr. Brisbane?
Oh, no. Sometimes he wouldn't be in the office for 2 or 3 days at a time. He instructed the secretary that when he didn't show up, he didn't want to be called at home either.
I see.
Where would he spend his time on these occasions when he didn't go to his office for a couple of days?
Here, Hugh liked to read and write a little. He has a room on the 3rd floor where he spent a great deal of his time.
Would it be possible to look at that room?
Oh, yes, I suppose so.
Well, tell me, have you looked through his bedroom?
Yes?
Any of his things missing?
Not that I know of.
Clothes, luggage, something like that.
I really couldn't say. I don't know enough about his things.
Well, how about the servants? Could they give us that information, do you think?
Possibly.
Miss Brisbane, have you had any odd telephone calls or messages since your husband's disappearance?
No. What do you mean?
Well, again, we don't want to frighten you, but there's always the possibility that he was kidnapped. He's being held for ransom.
Oh, dear Lord.
I wouldn't worry about that angle too much if you haven't had any contact.
Did Mr. Brisbane drink much?
Oh, cocktails before dinner, maybe 2 or 3.
Ever any long drinking jaunts?
No. Oh, on a weekend occasionally, but nothing serious. Hugh never went off and drank, if that's what you're trying to find out.
Is he in good health?
Yes, perfect, I think.
Oh, who's your family doctor?
Dr. Wayner took care of Hugh. L.D. Wayner.
Okay.
Now, we won't keep you much longer, Mrs. Brisbane, but about the clothing. Mr. Brisbane was wearing Tuesday morning a dark blue suit, gray hat, gray tweed overcoat. Is that correct?
Yes. I remember very distinctly.
We talked to Mrs. Brisbane for another half hour, gathering information concerning the missing man. After that, we questioned both servants and learned that Brisbane was a man of careful and precise habits. We examined the study that Mrs. Brisbane had told us about, as well as his bedroom. To all appearances, and from all we could learn, he had taken nothing with him but the clothes on his back and what money he had on his person. By mid-afternoon, every member of Hugh Brisbane's office force had been interviewed and questioned. None of them were able to furnish a motive behind his sudden and complete absence. He was described by everyone as a model husband and a model business executive. The detail from the district attorney's office reported that his business was in sound financial condition. I went with Sergeant Pantella when he interviewed Dr. Weiner, Brisbane's personal physician.
Well, according to my records, I examined him last on December 13th.
He was in good health.
For a man of his age and responsibility, I would say he was in excellent health.
Oh, could you explain the qualification, Doctor?
Well, I was thinking only by comparison. Hugh Brisbane is 45 years old. He's held a position of tremendous responsibility for many years. For a lesser man or a frailer man, the incidence of an organic disturbance increases with the years. In Brisbane's case, it didn't seem to hold. He knew how to relax, or he knew how to escape for periods of time and get a complete rest. He told me that he read a great deal and tried his hand at writing.
Did you do a complete physical on him, Doctor?
Yes. Why?
Was there any indication or any reason whatsoever for you to suspect that he might suffer from some sort of mental trouble?
No, there was not. I'd say that when I examined him, he was in excellent mental shape, too. Oh, I know you're seeking out the possibility of an amnesia condition or something similar. No, it wouldn't come in a flash, just like that. There would have been some symptoms.
What kind of symptoms?
Well, symptoms that Mrs. Brisbane or the people in his office would have noticed and probably told you about when you questioned them. An inability to remember names, addresses, telephone numbers are the most easily recognized. Someone would have picked up those things in his conversation or his actions. For instance, he might have not been able to count his change when he paid a check at a restaurant. See what I mean?
I see, yes.
I think you can discount the probability of amnesia on those grounds.
How long have you known him, Doctor?
Well, 6 years, I think. He used to go to a friend of mine who passed away, and then he came to me.
Did you ever meet him outside this office?
Socially, yes.
Where?
Well, we both belonged to the same country club. I played golf with him several times. I've seen him at dances, other affairs.
Did he and Mrs. Brisbane strike you as a happy couple?
Oh, I suppose so, Mr. Dollar. I never really thought about it much. I'll tell you this. Hugh Brisbane has quite a head on his shoulders. That was always my impression of him.
Did you ever have occasion to talk with him about anything but business or social activity?
Yes, I did, once. It startled me at first. I was aware that he was a man of education and some culture, but I was quite taken aback by his ability to quote the classicists.
Oh?
It seemed incongruous somehow. I remember we were sitting in the club. It had been a 2:00 lunch. Practically everybody had left except the waiters, and I heard him quote a Greek. Callicles.
Oh, what did he quote? Do you remember it?
Why?
Just curious.
I don't remember it, but I was so impressed with the passage, I took the trouble to look it up myself and to write it down. I have it here somewhere. Yeah. There it is, Mr. Dollar.
Thanks.
Surprising,
I don't know.
What does it say?
But if there were a man who had sufficient force, he would shake off and break through and escape from all this. He would trample underfoot all our formulas and spells and charms and all our laws which are against nature. The slave would rise in rebellion and be lord over us, and the light of natural justice would shine forth. When did he quote this to you, Dr. Weiner?
Monday, the day before he disappeared.
And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of Yours Truly, Johnny Dollar. The disappearance of Hugh Brisbane had been complete and final up until the time the district attorney's men discovered that $5,000 had been withdrawn from his savings account on the morning he'd vanished. The fact that he was known to have a large amount of money with him opened up new possibilities in the case. What was his name?
Cook. This is the third cage.
Oh, yeah. Over there.
Yeah. Mr. Cook?
Yes?
I'm Sergeant Pantera. This is Mr. Dollar.
Oh, yes. You phoned me. It's about Mr. Brisbane?
You took care of him when he was in here last Tuesday. Is that right?
Yes, I handled the withdrawal.
We'd like to see the slip on that, please.
Yes, I looked it up. I have it ready for you.
Thanks.
You said on the phone you'd want a copy?
Yes, for the handwriting man.
Well, you may have that one. There was an automatic duplicate when he made out the withdrawal slip. We have that for our file.
I see. Have you known Mr. Brisbane very long?
Well, I've seen him the many times he's been in the bank since I've worked here.
How long is that?
5 years.
Are you sure you know him?
Oh, yes, of course.
Is this him?
Why, yes.
This is the same man who signed this withdrawal slip last Tuesday morning.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now tell us, what happened?
He just came up to the cage and gave me the withdrawal slip. That's all.
I see. Weren't you a little surprised when he made out a withdrawal slip for $5,000?
No, not particularly.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Oh, well, maybe I was a little surprised, but Mr. Brisbane has withdrawn large sums from his personal savings account several times. Yes, I remember once he took out $3,500, and another time he withdrew $2,000. I assume this was for some sort of speculation where he needed cash on hand.
When he came up to the cage, what exactly did he say to you?
Oh, just good morning, and will you please take care of this?
Was that all?
Yes, that's all.
Well, didn't he stipulate how he wanted the money? Tens, 20s, hundreds?
Oh, yes. He did say that. He took it mostly in hundreds and 50s. I think I gave him $200 worth of 10s and 20s, too, but I'm not sure.
Any of those bills happen to be recorded?
No, I'm sorry.
$5,000 is quite a bundle of money to be carrying around broken down that way, Mr. Cook.
Oh, he was ready for it. He had a small bag with him. He put it all in that.
What kind of a bag?
Oh, just a bag, like a doctor's bag. It was black or very dark brown, I think.
Mm-hmm. Anything else you can remember about it?
No, I'm afraid not.
Initials, maker's name?
No, sorry.
Okay. Dollar?
Yeah, just 1 minute. When Brisbane left the bank with a bag of money, did you happen to see which way he went?
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, wait. I don't know if this is important, but come to think of it, I did notice something peculiar about him that day.
Oh? What?
Well, usually when we did business, he'd be very brisk about it. I mean, he'd hurry away from the cage, but last Tuesday he didn't seem to be in any hurry at all. I had the distinct feeling that Mr. Brisbane didn't particularly care in what direction he went somehow.
A recheck with Mrs. Brisbane and the house servants established that Brisbane had not left the house carrying the bag described by the bank teller. A supplementary information bulletin was issued including a description of the bag. Meanwhile, Sergeant Pantella's men continued the routine check of bus, train, and plane terminals within the city. Still no luck.
Oh, I'm afraid he had too good a start, Dollar. He could be in Europe by now.
Yeah.
Well, what does your company think of all this?
Well, as long as his books are in good shape, the insurance company can breathe a little easier. But they're still worried about him.
I phoned Mrs. Brisbane and told her she could bring charges against him for desertion if she wanted to. That way we'd get a little more action from the other cities. She said she didn't want to do that.
Mm-hmm. On that savings account, it was a joint account, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he only took $5,000. That leaves her $23,000.
Well, he's really done a good job if he was trying to get away.
With that much money on him, somebody else could have done a good job, too.
Yeah.
Sergeant Pantella, missing persons. What's your name? I know where it is. Right. Well, at least we know he was alive Tuesday night.
How?
There was a man who runs a bar over on Motor Avenue. He says Brisbane was in there Tuesday night.
Yeah, that's him. That's the picture of the guy who was in here Tuesday night.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm positive.
Was he with anybody?
All alone, sat right down there on that stool.
How long was he here?
Oh, he was here when I come on. He was still here when the place closed.
Did you happen to see where he went from here?
Huh?
What kind of shape was he in? Was he drunk?
No, real sober and quiet. He drank all night, but it didn't seem to affect him at all.
Well, did you talk to him at all?
No, I just took his orders for drinks. He didn't seem to want to talk to nobody.
I see.
What time did you come on?
8 o'clock.
What time do you close?
2?
Did you happen to notice if anybody who was in here talked to him?
Oh, I think a couple of people tried, drunks, but he didn't have much to say to them, so they just left him alone.
Uh-huh. Anything else happen?
No. Oh, wait, yeah, he was making a phone call all the time he was here, a long-distance phone call from that booth right there. He sat at the end of the bar so he could hear the operator call him back.
You don't happen to know where he was calling?
Oh.
How do you know it was a long-distance call?
Well, because once he handed me a 20 and asked me to change it. I gave him $5 worth of quarters. All the quarters I had, as a matter of fact.
Uh-huh. About what time was this?
Well, I couldn't say exactly. It seemed to be about 10 o'clock when he started.
You mean when he first placed the call?
That's right. But he was still at it after midnight. I guess the operator was ringing him every 20 minutes the way they do, you know.
Do you know if he completed the call?
Oh, yeah. I heard him slugging quarters into the box once.
Okay.
Did he have anything with him while he was here?
What do you mean?
Was he carrying a bag or anything?
No, nothing but his overcoat.
Telephone company records disclosed that Hugh Brisbane had placed a call from the pay booth in the lounge. A person-to-person call to a Kenneth Temple in San Francisco. We tried to place a call to the same number, but there was no answer.
I'm sorry, sir. Your party does not answer. I'll call you back in 20 minutes.
All right, miss.
Kenneth Temple. Temple?
Something familiar?
Something, yeah. I don't know what it is, though.
Well, we should be hearing from the police there pretty soon. I asked them to look him up.
We waited another 2 hours trying to complete the call to Kenneth Temple in San Francisco. The operators were still trying when we drove out to the Brisbane residence once more. Mrs. Brisbane led us into the house.
You say you found out something, Sergeant?
Well, we might have, Mrs. Brisbane. Maybe you can help us.
I'll try. Won't you sit down?
Thanks.
Now, what is all this about San Francisco?
We found out that your husband called a man named Kenneth Temple there on Tuesday night.
Oh?
That name, Kenneth Temple, does it mean something to you?
No.
Have you ever heard it before?
I don't believe I have.
Mr. Brisbane never mentioned it to you at all?
I can't say for certain, but it's not familiar to me at the moment.
Mrs. Brisbane, have you ever been to San Francisco?
Yes?
When?
Twice. Going to and coming back from Hawaii 2 years ago.
Has Mr. Brisbane ever been in San Francisco?
He was on the same trip.
The name Temple. Maybe it's someone you met while you were there?
No. I don't recall meeting anyone there at all. We were in a group of people. We all took the same plane from here and stayed together the whole trip.
I see.
Oh, excuse me, please.
Sure. This isn't getting us very far.
I don't get it.
Hello. Me? Oh, yes, operator. Just a moment. It's for you, Sergeant.
Oh, thanks. Probably San Francisco. Thank you. This is Sergeant Fantella. Yes? Hello, Mr. Temple. This is Sergeant Fantella, Missing Persons Division, Detroit Police Department. We're trying to locate a man named Hugh Brisbane. All right. He's there now.
Hugh, let me talk to him.
Just a minute, Mrs. Brisbane.
Mr. Brisbane, we've been pretty worried about you. Yes, I'm speaking to you from your home. She's fine. Yeah, just a moment. He wants to talk to you.
Hello, Hugh. Oh, it's so good to hear your voice. Hugh, what on earth is... Yes, Hugh. I'm listening. Yes? Yes, Hugh, I remember all that. But Hugh, Yes, dear. All right. You again.
Oh. Hello, Brisbane. Yes? Yes, I'm...
Are you feeling all right, Mrs. Brisbane?
I catch my breath.
Sure that was your husband you talked to?
It was you.
What?
I'm leaving you and everyone else. That's what he said.
What?
Well, he said that he was going to take a long sea trip with Mr. Temple, and that he wouldn't be back for a year, if he ever came back. He said he wrote me all of this in a letter that I should receive today. Why would he do a thing like that? He had everything here in this home that he wanted. It's a lovely home. We have lovely friends. Why? Why? If he would have just talked to me about it. I don't...
Maybe he did, Mrs. Brisbane.
What?
The doctor's the only one I found who ever listened to him. It was true. Hugh Brisbane had just plain walked out one day and had no intention of coming back for a long, long time. And as far as the police were concerned, there was no way to stop him. As far as we're concerned, we'll have to sit on that $25,000 bond and hope that he'll come back to Detroit someday when he gets whatever it is out of his system. There's nothing we can do either. Expense account item 3. Room and board at the Chase. $78.50. Item 4, same as item 1, transportation back to Hartford. Expense account total, $286.20. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, stars John Lund in the title role and was written by E. Jack Newman with music by Eddie Dunstetter. Featured in tonight's cast were Jay Novello, Jeanette Nolan, John McIntyre, Joe Kearns, and Virginia Gray. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is transcribed in Hollywood by Jaime Del Valle.
Johnny Dollar.
Johnny, this is Don Boomhauer down here in Sarasota, Florida.
Don, how are you?
Oh, great.
Yeah? Now, what's the matter?
Well, the last time I called you, I mentioned that pal of yours, Earl Foreman.
Yeah?
Told you he was out in California and that he'd left me holding down the local office of Tri-State Life and Casualty for him.
Oh, yeah, I
So
remember.
what's he gone and done? Moved on out there to sunny, smoggy Southern California, bag and back.
Yeah, I heard from
Which
a
is
few
to
of...
say, I'm still running the Tri-State office here in Sarasota.
That's bad?
Be fine if it didn't take so much of my time away from my real estate business. But what I called you about, Johnny...
Yeah, trouble, Don?
Yes, well, no, not exactly.
Well, which is it?
I mean, not exactly the kind you might expect. Looks like one of our clients, an old man by the name of William Trasker, is dying.
Old Bill Trasker, the fishing guy?
That's the one.
Yeah. Earl and I went fishing with him several times out in the Gulf.
Oh, so that's how he knows about you.
Well, what's he dying of, Don? I can't imagine anybody having it in for old Bill and trying to knock him off.
No, it's some rare type of kidney ailment, the doctor says.
Oh.
Nothing suspicious about it, nothing whatsoever.
Oh, well, then
The amount of insurance he carries is so small as to be almost negligible.
How much, Don?
$2,500.
Huh?
I know, Johnny. It would hardly seem to justify the cost of your coming down.
And if there's nothing suspicious about the circumstances...
Nothing at all. It'll be death from natural causes.
Well, Don, I'm afraid I don't see any
During
reason...
his periods of consciousness, he's in a coma most of the time, he keeps asking for you.
Oh? What?
Well, I don't know. Not for sure, that is. But what he keeps saying, or trying to say, and it's hard to understand him, well, Johnny, it sounds like he's trying to give us the clue to a murder.
Murder?
That's right.
Don, I'm on my way. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Tri-State Life and Casualty Insurance Company office in Sarasota, Florida. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the recompense matter. Expense account item 1, $79.70 taxi and a plane from Hartford to New York, then another one to Florida. At the International Airport in Tampa, Don Boomhauer was waiting for me. We piled into his air-conditioned car and headed south on the Tamiami Trail down towards Sarasota.
That's right, Johnny. Old Bill Trasker.
Dying of some kidney disease, huh?
And according to Dr. Crutcher, nothing short of a miracle would save him.
That's too bad. He seemed like a mighty nice old man, a real gentleman. Well-educated, well-spoken. You'd expect to find him running a big business instead of a broken-down outboard rig to take out fishing parties.
So I understand. But frankly, Johnny, I'd never even seen old Bill until the doctor called me. Said he was dying and that he wanted to see you. Then I looked up his policy.
Yeah, $2,500, you said.
Yes, to be spent in giving him a modest but decent burial. And to pay any bills he might leave outstanding.
Apparently, then, Bill won't be leaving much of an estate.
And you'll understand why when you see the little kind of shack he lives in.
But now, over the phone, you said something about a murder.
Well, Johnny, it was so difficult trying to understand what he was trying to say. Even when he seemed completely conscious, he was very vague, except perhaps when he was asking for you, when he told us he had to see you before he goes.
Well, now, Don, why...
He never said the actual word murder, Johnny, but he, well, listen, there was a name he kept trying to tell us. It sounded like Jerry or Gerald something. Last name we couldn't get at all.
Well, have you checked over his relatives?
When we asked him about relatives, he just turned his face away and shook his head.
But now, if he was talking about a murder...
Johnny, it's just that... Well, Doc and I agreed that from what he said, and, well, his knowing you and your work and wanting to see you, and, well, you know how deathbed confessions are.
You're not making much sense.
Look, Doc will be waiting for us, and if Bill is conscious enough to make sense when he talks to you, well, let's just wait and see what you can get out of him.
Whatever you say, Don. Bill's home was a shack, all right, on a small, scrubby piece of land near the end of one of the bayous leading out from Sarasota Bay. As we stopped in front of the the long path through the palmettos that led up to it, Doc Crutcher came out to meet us.
Johnny, I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, how are you, Doc?
Don? Well, I just given him a final injection in a course of 7 that... Well, come on in.
He's failing, Doc?
As a last resort, I've used a new, very radical sort of treatment. One of the so-called but not fully tried miracle drugs. And I'm just afraid he came to me too late.
But, Doc, there is a chance.
Oh, there's always a chance, Johnny. But in this case, a very slim one.
Doctor...
Here we are, Bill. You just relax.
$15.
Yeah. Well, here I am, Bill. See? Right here in the flesh.
Johnny?
That's right. Hey, look, if you expect to take me out fishing, you got to get well, old man.
No. Oh, Johnny, it's too late now.
Oh, come on now. That's no way to talk, old timer.
I'm gonna die now.
Yeah? Who said so?
But you must tell him.
Tell who, Bill?
Tell police.
Tell what to the police?
No.
What?
No. Murder.
There was a murder? Or you mean there was no murder?
Oh, tell police that I did. I did it.
Easy, old man.
Gerald.
Gerald?
Yes, I'm Gerald.
Gerald who, Bill?
Gerald.
Yeah?
Thornley.
Gerald Thornley.
Yes.
He was murdered?
Gerald Thornley.
Yeah.
So, please, I did it. I did it, Johnny. You tell.
Doctor.
Yes, I'll see if he's...
The end, Doc?
Well, no. As a matter of fact, his heartbeat is... Well, it's stronger.
What?
Much stronger. Doc,
Listen. Yes, Doc? Get to a phone and get an ambulance while I make him ready.
You mean that maybe you can pull him through after all?
Yeah. Now, come on, Johnny. Give me a hand with him.
Sure, Doc. Save him, huh?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so that we can investigate this confession of his.
Huh?
Sure, and then see that he's executed for murder.
Oh, darn for the low one.
Yes, call that ambulance.
Great scientific achievements usually are made through the combined efforts of many men. Such is the story of the Atlantic Cable, one of the outstanding milestones of the 19th century. But today the name of one man remains to remind us of that venture. The organizer and director, Cyrus W. Field, a retired paper merchant who risked his fortune, sanity, and integrity in an awesome adventure that lasted 12 long years. Field first was approached in regard to a short underwater cable to Newfoundland in 1854. After a huge investment of both money and energy, the cable was completed the following summer. Field then went to England to tackle the much larger problem of laying the Atlantic cable. Many futile attempts were made. Cable was broken. Splices were made. Cable was lost. Tempers flew, and ship captains resigned in disgust. Still, Field wouldn't give up. Finally, on August 8, 1858, it appeared that the project had been successfully completed. Cyrus Field went ashore and walked 15 miles to the nearest telegraph station. There he wired his wife, the Associated Press, and President Buchanan. He informed the president that Queen Victoria would telegraph her congratulations over the new cable. But before the Queen's message was completed, the line went dead. The much-hailed project was again a failure. Faulty insulation was blamed. In 1865, the largest steamboat afloat, the Great Eastern, made another attempt. Just 660 miles from Newfoundland, the cable parted. Inadequate hoisting tackle prevented its recovery. Field broke down and wept like a child. And yet, the very next year, he sailed with the Great Eastern for one more try. This time, every failure had been studied, every provision made. On July 27, 1866, Cyrus Field landed at Heart's Content. After personally cabling the unbelievable news, he immediately boarded the Great Eastern, retrieved the broken cable of the year before, spliced it, and laid the second Atlantic cable. Cyrus W. Field, another American whose driving energy insisted that somehow there must be a way. Let's find it.
And now, Act Two of yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
We carefully laid old Bill in the back seat of Don Boomhauer's car and drove him to the hospital ourselves. And then we could only wait to see if the drug that Dr. Crutcher had given him would really do its work. And yet, if it did, if by some modern miracle the old man should recover. Well, Don had said it there at the shack, and he said it again that evening as we sat in the comfortable den of his home, trying to console ourselves with a couple of scotch and sodas.
You know, it's wrong, Johnny. There's something very wrong about it. I mean, pulling him away from death's door only so that he can be electrocuted for that murder he confessed to.
But did he really, Don?
What else could he have meant? So you've got to investigate, Johnny. Even Doc Crutcher has to report that confession to the police.
Maybe.
And so do I. We've no way out of it. None of us.
Gerald Thornton.
Yes, the name of his victim, the man he murdered.
Did he? Is that what he tried to tell us?
Well, what else could he have possibly meant? And don't forget, he thinks that he's dying.
Oh, I know.
A deathbed confession, Johnny. Happens all the time.
Oh, but look, is he the kind of man who could have killed somebody? He certainly didn't strike me that way.
But how do you know? It may have happened years ago.
And it may never have happened at all.
And I hope that somehow you're right. But can you prove it? Well, Johnny?
Pour me another drink, will you?
Sure, all you want. But you haven't answered my question.
I'm going to try, Don. I'm going to try.
midnight, Doc Crutcher phoned to say that we should keep our fingers crossed and maybe pray a bit. It now looks as though Bill Trasker might have a 50-50 chance to live. Then, unexpectedly, a call from Lieutenant Barney Phillips of the police department.
Yes, Mr. Dollar, Doc Crutcher told me all about it. And we'll appreciate any help you may want to give us on this.
Well, do you know anything about this Bill Thornley?
No, sir, never heard of him. But we'll find out who he was. Don't you worry about that.
Lieutenant, how well do you know old Bill?
Well, that's the thing that puzzles me, Dollar. Old Bill is one of the nicest, one of the most kindliest old men I've ever known.
Oh?
Ever since he came here to Sarasota, that's about 7 years ago, seems he just went out of his way all the time trying to be nice and helpful to folks.
Uh-huh.
Didn't have much to give to anybody, money I mean, but whatever he had or he could do for somebody, he never would hesitate a minute.
I see.
But that doesn't keep us from having to do our duty, get the goods on him, see that justice is done. The law is the law, and it's our duty to uphold it.
Old Bill came here 7 years ago?
That's right.
From where?
Well, now, if we knew that, we'd know where to look for information on this man Thornley that he killed.
Yes, he did.
What's that?
I'll talk to you later, Lieutenant.
Oh, fine, Mr. Dolan. If you have any connections anywhere that can help us find out who Gerald Thornley was and why old Bill killed him,
Or if I can find out that he didn't kill any such man or anybody else.
Now, Mr. Dolan.
I'll be in touch.
Why are you so sure he didn't murder someone, Johnny?
Did I say that, Don?
You didn't need to.
Don, I want no part of this thing.
Donnie, I know this is no ordinary sort of investigation, but as a company, we have to go through with it.
Why?
If you can prove that Bill didn't do it, which I doubt, well, it's the least we can do for a client, or something.
Yeah.
And if you end up proving he did, well, it's a public service by the company, or something.
Or something. Let someone else handle it. I want to put it.
Why did old Bill ask for you? Well?
Oh, well, I think it's because of... Well, in spite of what he said, in spite of what it sounded like... Hey, let me use your car, will you?
At this time of night? Oh, well, here. Here are the keys.
All right, good.
What have you got in mind?
Well, maybe keeping an innocent man out of the chair.
Now, Johnny...
I'll see you later. Obviously, the key to this whole matter lay in finding out about Bill's supposed victim, Gerald Thornley. Who he was, where he was, or where he had been. And then if Bill had ever been there. So I drove over to the shack again and went through Bill's clothes, hoping that some of them might be old enough to show where he'd been before he moved to Sarasota. Every one of them bore a New York label. Item 2, $5.20 for a tank full of gas. Item 3, after I reached the airport in Tampa, $4.60 for a long telegram to Ripley Keener, a pal of mine on the New York side. Item 4, $71.70, and shortly after dawn, I was in New York. Rip was waiting for me at the airport.
You could have saved yourself the time and money and phoned me, Johnny.
Now, just what do you mean by that, Rip?
Well, I could have told you all there is to tell about Gerald P. Thornley in one sentence. I handled the story on him for the paper myself.
All right, well, what about him?
He ain't.
He what?
7 years ago, that crooked promoter disappeared.
Promoter?
And when the police finally caught up with when and where and how he disappeared, it left them with only one possible conclusion. Thornley was murdered.
Nevertheless,
No, Johnny. Stop trying to act like a Pollyanna and get on back to Sarasota and nail that old guy for murder.
The 14th Amendment to our Constitution is one of its most important sections. It bestows United States citizenship upon every person, regardless of race, who is born within our borders or who is naturalized. And this amendment further provides that the privileges and immunities of citizenship cannot be taken away by a state, nor may a citizen be denied the equal protection of the laws. It is this amendment which makes us all equal citizens with equal rights, to the end that this country of yours and mine shall be our country under God.
Now, Act 3 of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and the recompense matter.
over breakfast there at Idlewild Airport, Rip Keener told me more about Gerald P. Thornley.
Not that Thornley didn't deserve to have somebody knock him off.
Now, just what does that mean?
When he got through with all his phony real estate promotions, he left more innocent people broke and hungry than you can shake it. Well, Johnny, that man made millions on his crooked real estate deals. And who suffered? Wealthy people who could afford to lose a few thousand here and there? Oh, no. No, sir. I was poor people who fell for his pitch and then suffered for it.
But the law, the authorities, they never got on to him.
Man, he was too smart. Every deal he made was perfectly legal at the time. I'll tell you this, Johnny. A lot of the real estate laws got rewritten as a result of him. I mean, in spite of the way it finally turned out, the switcherooning.
What?
Sure. That gave me material for that feature I hoped was going to win me a Pulitzer Prize.
Just, what are you talking about, Rip?
Back there in 53, after the coroner's jury said it was murder, they went through his papers and bank accounts. They found he left enough dough and instructions for it to pay back every cent he'd taken from the poor suckers.
You are kidding.
A bit, Johnny. I told you it was a twist. And, Johnny, that's what makes his killer all the more wrong. So get on back there to Sarasota and nail him down.
Yeah, Rip, I guess it's all I can... Oh, wait a minute.
Huh?
Handle this right, and maybe your next feature will get you a Pulitzer Prize.
Huh?
Poor people who'd been taken by Thornley. Well, old Bill Trasker had never been in that category, in spite of his menial job these last 7 years as a fishing guide. Item 5, 10 cents for a call to Lieutenant Randy Singer, 18th Precinct. Then I had Rip Keener drive me into Sealand.
There you are, Johnny. A complete set of fingerprints on the late Mr. Gerald P. Thornley.
Good.
So why I should break my neck getting them in such a hurry for you.
Thanks a lot,
I
Randy.
put that so-called mind of yours to work finding out who murdered him 7.5 years ago. Why?
Well, that coroner's jury could have been all wet, you know.
Huh?
Why don't you keep Rip here entertained until I can phone him a feature story for down at Sarasota?
Johnny,
If, that is.
Yeah? If what?
Now, if this absolutely crazy hunch of mine pays off. Item 6, another 7170 for a plane back to Florida. From the airport in Tampa, I drove on down to Sarasota, straight to the hospital.
It is a miracle, Johnny. If old Bill continues to improve the way he has in these last 12 hours, he'll live until they put him in the chair, much as I hate to say that.
Old Bill was much better. And almost was a miracle. He let me take a set of his fingerprints, and then he broke down and told me his story. Then at police headquarters, when one of the lab men compared the prints with a set I brought down from New York, Lieutenant Barney Phillips nearly flipped.
But oh, no, look, Al, I can't believe this. According to these prints, old Bill is Gerald P. Thornley.
That's right.
But I don't understand. But why, Al, huh?
Well, his dirty real estate promotions were perfectly legal at the time. But he was ruining more innocent people, causing more heartbreak and suffering. But he hadn't thought about that in his lust for money. All he cared about was getting more and more of it, regardless of whom he was hurting. Until one day this kidney thing hit him, and it scared him. And suddenly he realized that one day he'd die as one of the most hated men in the world. But simply getting back the money would never erase the stigma that he'd have to live with. So he arranged his own disappearance, and he made it look like murder. So he could quietly get away and start leading the kind of life he should have been leading, and could start doing some good for people. Exactly the way he's been doing here in Sarasota, Lieutenant.
There's a sort of recompense for the rotten things he'd done before.
Yeah, that's right.
And without having folks point him out as the crook he'd been.
That's right. And don't forget, the people he'd hurt up north were all paid off.
But Dollar, when he thought he was dying, he told you murder.
He said no murder. Doc and Don misunderstood. He said to tell the police that he did it. That's all. And now we know what he did.
Dollar, I hate to say this, but he's still in trouble.
Old Bill Trasker?
Gerald P. Thornley.
Not anymore, Lieutenant.
What's it?
Thornley is dead. Legally dead.
Well, I know it's only...
you're right, Mr. Johnny. Well, you say you're right.
Yeah? After sticking around a few days to make sure that old Bill's recovery would be complete, well, I changed my mind about getting Rip Keener material for a feature. Let him wonder about it. Expense account total, including the trip back to Hartford, 200 and, no, Don, forget it. Just forget it. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood and is written, produced, and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in our cast were Russell Thorson, Bart Robinson, Harley Bear, Barney Phillips, Dick Crenna, and Herb Vigran. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. This is John Wall speaking.
Johnny Dollar has come to you through the worldwide facilities of the United States Armed Forces Radio and Television Service.
Thanks for your listening enjoyment. John Lund as Johnny Dollar.
George Dean, Johnny, Congress Mutual.
Oh, hi, George.
Johnny, how did Las Vegas sound to you?
Expensive. Can you afford it?
Got to. A client of ours had a 30-grand diamond necklace stolen out there yesterday. Little of a sword.
The dancer?
One and only. Still packing them in after all these years. And still the same two weaknesses, Johnny. Gambling and collecting young men.
Well, they say every girl needs a hobby, George. Not two hobbies, though. That could run into money. The makers of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum bring you John Lund and another adventure of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Wherever you go, whatever you do, enjoy chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. That lively, full-bodied Wrigley's Spearmint flavor is really refreshing. It cools your mouth and freshens your taste. The pleasant chewing helps keep your throat moist, helps relieve that dry, thirsty feeling. And delicious Wrigley's Spearmint Gum is so handy. Just slip a package into your purse or pocket and you've got refreshment right at your fingertips. Chew Wrigley's Spearmint while you're working. Enjoy this refreshing treat along with your favorite summer sports. Wrigley's Spearmint Gum is always enjoyable, and you can chew it without even taking time out. Get a few packages of Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to Home Office, Concourse Mutual Assurance Company, Hartford, Connecticut. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Jones matter. Expense account item 1, $318.60, transportation. Round-trip airfare and incidentals to Las Vegas and the Flamingo Hotel, where the ordinary citizen lives like an Oriental potentate wishes he could live. After checking in, I took a short walk down the street to Lily Lesueur's hotel.
Yes?
Miss Lesure, I'm Johnny Dollar, special investigator for your insurance company.
Oh, well, that's very nice, I'm sure, but... Oh, of course, the necklace. That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
Mind if I come in?
Oh, please do, Mr. Dollar. This is Eddie Lawson, Mr. Dollar, my very dear friend. Just a doll, really.
Hello. How are you?
I think it's awfully droll and nice of the insurance company to take such an interest in my poor little affairs.
I imagine they regard $30,000 as more of a rich, big affair.
Oh, dear. And then I suppose you'll go around prying into all my most intimate secrets and asking such embarrassing questions that I'll just... Oh, I think having jewelry stolen is always such a bore.
Yes, the insurance company feels the same way, Miss LeSueur. Now, if you just...
good heavens, look at the time. I've got to fly.
Lily, you remember what I told you?
Now, Eddie, don't start being a child. Don't you think these Western outfits are just adorable, Mr. Dollar?
Well, they do a lot to point up a girl's personality, all right?
Well, maybe this investigation won't be such a chore after all. Oh, dear, I'm late. Buck and Devastator are going to be just furious. Oh, well, tell him all about it, Eddie. That's my show tonight, Johnny. 10 o'clock at the $1 Billion Club. Join me for a snack afterwards. Here by the pool. That's where it all happened. Toodaloo!
Buck and Devastator. Buck Bartlett, he's the riding instructor at the Lazy J Stables. Devastator is the horse. It's a better name for Lily. I'm going to marry Lily, Mr. Dollar. Oh, congratulations. Now, what about this necklace? What happened? It disappeared. That's all I know about it. So how? When? Where? Look, why don't you do like Lily said? Come around tonight. The same gang will be there, and you can check the setup yourself. See what happens. You can keep an eye on this Buck Bartlett if you want a kiss from me. And the other eye? Anywhere. As long as it's not on Lily. Expense account item 2, $2.50. Lunch at the hotel. And $12 for a hired car to the Lazy J Stables. Horses for hire. English or Western style saddles. Instructor available. A Western style instructor, as was soon painfully obvious.
Mighty pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Dollar. Lily just took off from here a couple of minutes ago.
I know.
You, Eastern friend of hers?
Well, I'm not exactly a friend. I'm a special investigator. Checking into those diamonds she lost the other evening.
Oh, I see.
I understand you were there. Might know something about it.
No, sir. Beats me. There we was, sitting on that fancy terrace kind of thing they got there, hoisting a little poison and chawing on some beefsteaks, you know. And the next thing you know, Miss Lily lets out a yap and says, "My rock! Somebody up and took my rock." Well, I didn't even know she had any jewelry out there with her.
Did anybody know she had?
Well, not unless it was with
Miss Joe?
With the gal I brung, Miss Joan Drake. I was thinking she might have known because she ambled down to Miss Lily's room with us so they could change their glad rags and put on their bathing suits, you know. She'd been pestering me for a week to meet Miss LeSueur, but she sure wouldn't take nothing that didn't belong to her.
Buck, I wonder if there was a diamond necklace on the terrace.
Well, you ain't able to say Miss Lily lied about it, are you? Well, that little woman is true blue, mister. Matter of fact, Mr. Dollar, I wouldn't want this to get around, but I'm sort of aiming to... Well...
Let me guess, Buck. You're aiming to marry her.
Yeah. I reckon it just sticks out all over her. Don't Miss Dollar.
Well, it seems I was having a late supper, Mr. Dollar. Out there in the open by the pool. It was after Miss LeSueur's last show, so the four of them had the place pretty much to themselves.
And who were the four, Marshal?
Well, there was Miss LeSueur, of course, and this young fellow she brought with her from the East.
Eddie Lawson?
Yeah. Don't know much about him, except she's dang near old enough to be his mother.
You'll have to admit she doesn't look it, though.
She sure don't. Well, the other young fellow's the one you talked to, Buck Bartlett, he calls himself.
Oh, yeah, the Texan.
Yeah, he's about as Texan as you are, Mr. Dollar. Came here from Los Angeles. He just puts on that talk because the Easterners like it, especially the Eastern women.
That Texas drawl comes in handy, huh?
Then the other one's a girl named Joan Drake.
Yeah, she was there with Buck.
Yeah, she's kind of funny. Young, pretty, smart as a whip. Came out from the East a while back. She's floor manager of the casino at the $1 Billion Club. Talk to her. See what you think. I can't figure it out.
All right. I'll see if I can.
Yeah. Come talk to me again after you look around a little.
Fine, I will. Ha! You know, I've seen these slot machines all over town. The last place I'd look for one is in the marshal's office.
Well, that's kind of very special.
Guess I might as well take the jackpot with me. Lemon.
Yep, that's all it ever is.
Huh?
It's rigged. I send the money it takes in over to the county orphanage. Charge it up to experience, Mr. Dollar.
Expense account item 3, $1 for experience and information from the marshal's office. And $17 miscellaneous expenses at the $1 Billion Club, where miscellaneous covers a lot of different items. One item is the roulette wheel.
Even.
You're not having very good luck.
Oh, I'm only paying for conversation anyway. Of course, I haven't had much yet.
What would you like, the story of my life?
We could start with that.
All right. Lay out $1. I was born of wealthy parents, raised entirely by nurses, educated in exclusive private schools. I was graduated from the Swank College, which I shall leave nameless. You like it so far?
Well, it isn't original, but well told. Go on.
Lay out $1. You just lost that one. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the divorce. Quite sensational, really. Father's clients withdrew their accounts and support. He was bankrupt within 3 months and dead by suicide within 6. You see, the other woman jilted him, and I, a tenderly nurtured sapling, was cast out into the world to sink or swim.
Well, never fear. Heaven will protect the working girl.
Oh, that was awfully funny.
Yeah, it was a scream.
14 even.
And, what did you do with the necklace?
What? What is this? Who are you?
Johnny Dollar, insurance investigator. And you're Joan Drake, who wanted badly to meet Miss LeSueur. She changed clothes in her room with her, who was the only one who knew she had the diamonds out at the pool. Who works here for about, $50 a day and could probably use $30,000.
22 even.
And I asked you what you did with the necklace. I think that ought to cover the what is this?
Mr. Dollar, if you'd like to play roulette, by all means, stay around. But I'm afraid I don't have any more conversation. Not at these prices.
I thought I was overcharged for what I got.
And this will kill you. The whole story was true.
And with all that background, running a casino is the best you could do?
The best for me. With glitter and glamour and sparkle. And that's what I was brought up to expect.
The diamonds sparkle a lot, too, Joan. I missed Lily's first show at the $1 Billion Club, but I met her by the pool at her hotel right afterwards. It was a warm night. The stars blazed against the desert sky, and Lily and her guests scintillated back from the terrace below. Except me. I didn't scintillate. So far, I wasn't any closer to that necklace than I'd been when I got off the plane. I had the feeling I'd learned a few things, and at the same time hadn't learned anything. And Lily didn't help much.
Did you see him? Did you see Eddie, darling? Isn't he just utterly gorgeous, Johnny?
Yeah, the original Catalina ad. Just look for the flying fish.
Oh, he's just beautiful. He was a lifeguard in Miami, you know, much tanner than he is now.
I see.
Look at Buck watching. It makes me so terrifically jealous, and Eddie knows it, too. Aren't they both just screamingly cute?
Strange. How about that necklace?
Oh, it's too nice tonight. Let's worry about it tomorrow.
Let's worry about it tonight.
Oh, Johnny. Might as well go along with him, Lily. He's got a one-track mind. Joan, darling, I didn't see you there in the shadow. Just soaking up glamour, honey.
Where were you sitting that night, Lily?
Why, by the oddest coincidence possible, right in his very chair. You see, ordinarily I kept the necklace in the hotel safe, but I wore it in my show that night, and it was late when we got here, and then we changed into swimming suits, and I didn't want to leave it in my suite, so I just brought it out here, wrapped in a handkerchief. And I kept it right here on the seat beside me all the time.
So all of a sudden it wasn't there, did it?
Well, yes, that's exactly the way it happened. Now it's all settled. Let's talk about something else.
Lily, you know as well as I do it's not settled. You can't tell the insurance company the thing just disappeared, and that's all there is to it. They want to know how it disappeared, when and where.
Well, you must be so hideously persistent. It happened while I was playing the slot machine. That one, right over there. I left the necklace lying here in the chair.
And where were the others while you were over there waltzing with the slot machine?
Oh, around, I suppose. I don't know. When I hit the jackpot, I simply went right out of my mind.
How about you, Joan? Where were you?
Like she says, around. Oh, plenty of opportunities. That's what you mean.
Oh, how utterly fantastic. She's a dear girl, Johnny. And I insist that you stop suspecting her. Or anybody else, either.
Were all of you searched?
Well, I wasn't, of course, but the others were.
That wasn't really much of a problem, Johnny. We were wearing swimsuits, you know.
Joan, I doubt if you went out of your mind over the jackpot. Did you notice where the boys were at the time?
Well, as far as I can remember.
I reckon a man ought to have the privilege to answer for himself, Mr. Dallas.
Why, sure. Pull up an empty saddle and join the party. You too, Eddie. All right, Buck. Where were you?
I was over there with Miss Lily. I was standing right behind her when she up and hit that jackpot.
I was in the pool. I came out when I heard everybody yelling about some diamonds being missing. Do you check them out on that, Joan?
Sure. That's how I remember.
Well, I'm certainly glad it's all settled. Oh, Johnny, you'll simply have to excuse me now. I've got to get ready for my show.
I'd be mighty proud to escort you to your room, Miss Lily.
Now, wait a minute, Staples.
Oh,
Here.
Boys, you can both escort me. Come along now. I'll be right back, Johnny. Don't go away now.
Curvy and soft as a kitten on the surface, but inside all angles and hard as a rock.
She belongs to a different age, Joan. The last of the champagne slipper girls.
Johnny, how much are those diamonds worth to you?
To me?
To the insurance company. Sometimes they make deals, don't they?
Sometimes.
No questions asked?
Sometimes.
How much?
Depends. I have to find out.
Everything about life, Johnny.
Not if I can help it.
It's real crazy the way it works out. I didn't finish that story of my life, Johnny. My real name is Jones. My father was Jonathan Vanderley Jones.
Jonathan Vanderley Jones? But if that's true, then...
Yeah. It's real crazy. The correspondent my mother named in that divorce case was Lily LeSueur.
Friends, you know Wrigley's Spearmint Gum is a delicious treat that millions enjoy all year round. It's good to chew almost any time and any place. In warm weather, you'll enjoy especially the refreshment that Wrigley's Spearmint Gum gives you. When your mouth feels hot and dry, or when you're feeling warm and tired, chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum gives you a pleasant little lift. It cools your mouth, moistens your throat, and refreshes your taste. Besides, chewing on a good, smooth piece of Wrigley's Spearmint Gum seems to add enjoyment to whatever else you're doing. So always keep some Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum handy. Enjoy it at home, at work, wherever you are. Remember, that's Wrigley's Spearmint Chewing Gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious. And now, with our star, John Lund, we bring you the second act of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account item 4, $5.90. Supper snack with Joan on the hotel terrace. I sat there trying to put things together. Either Joan had suddenly spotted something that had tipped her off to the thief, or if she'd taken the diamonds herself, something had caused her to decide on a deal. But which? And what was it? I tried to remember what had happened just before, what had been said, and got nowhere.
You know, Johnny, it's funny. I've always been the innocent bystander. Up until now.
Maybe that's what you ought to go on being. Unless you stole it yourself.
Would the daughter of Jonathan Vanderley Jones turn out to be a thief?
She might, for money and other valuable considerations.
Like, for instance?
Like a chance to hit back at the woman who ruined her father.
Oh, you're heading up a dead-end street.
Maybe you are, too. Well, I guess we're expecting at the $1 Million Club.
Not I. Little Jones got work to do.
So is little Johnny. Maybe we'll meet in the same playpen.
Somehow I don't think so. Bye-bye now. Johnny, what would happen if I just waived any claim of insurance on the necklace? Drop the whole thing right now.
Which one did it?
Sure, I don't...
Which one do you think did it?
Maybe I decided it doesn't matter which one.
Suppose it was Joan. Would you still want to drop it?
Oh, but that's ridiculous. She would...
Or there's still another possibility. Maybe you started something you want to back out of now.
Johnny, why must you be so hideously difficult? The insurance company sent you out here to save $30,000 for them. And I'm just utterly certain they won't care how nor why, as long as they save it.
No, maybe they won't. But what about me, Lily? It leaves me curious.
No, I'm quite sure you know a good deal more about this than you're letting on. Well, I've got to run again. It's time for my show. Bye, sweetie.
Expense account item 5, $10 for an hour and a half of more miscellaneous at the $1 Million Club. Lily was in too much demand for any chance of a quiet talk. My other 3 chums weren't around. I was trying to decide whether to go back to the hotel when I was paged over the public address system. I picked up the phone at the end of the bar. Johnny Dollar.
Marshal Kimberly, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Marshal?
Well, it looks like one of those necklace people got herself in a mess of trouble a while ago.
Oh, what do you mean?
I'm calling from the parking lot. She's that Joan Drake girl. Found out here in the back seat of a car. She's dead.
I guess you can cover her up now, Marshal. Poor kid never knew what hit her.
She's the one you thought might make a deal, Mr. Dollar?
Yeah.
Well, somebody made sure she didn't. Hit her 3 or 4 times with something heavy. I've been arranged, judging by the marks.
A wrench, huh? Did you find it?
No. Did you notice her hands?
Yeah. Apparently she'd had them around something greasy, rusty. I wonder if... Wait a second. Radiator's still warm. She may not have been killed here at the club. She could have been brought here and left.
It's possible.
Who's this car belong to?
Buck Bartlett. We got the boys out looking for him now.
Comfortable, all right. It all ties up.
Do you want to let me in on it, Mr. Dollar?
Let me check first. I'm doing a lot of guessing. Joan brought up this deal while we were all at Lily's hotel this evening. I think she just figured out how the necklace was stolen. I think she was killed trying to get it. And I think I've figured it out, too. But let me check first, Marshal. I'll talk to you later. 10 minutes later, I was alone on the deserted terrace beside the swimming pool at Lily's hotel. I knelt on the edge and looked down into the water. Crystal clear, lighted by an underwater bulb sunk in the concrete wall. The pumping system was running as usual, drawing the water from a drain pipe in the deep end, circulating it through the filter tanks in the pump room, and returning it to the shallow end. I took my handkerchief, waited with my room key, picked the spot carefully, and dropped it into the water. I watched it sink down toward the drain. Down, down. Then suddenly it was caught by the current and sucked into the drain. So far, so good. The next step was the pump room. I looked around for the switch on the pump motor, found it, and shut it off. There was a crescent wrench laying on the window ledge. It was shiny and clean. No use worrying about fingerprints. I picked it up and started to work on the rusty cover bolts on the strainer tank. Probably the same way Joan had started. Not if you're clever, she said. Well, she was clever. Well, not clever enough. Inside the strainer tank, laying in a wire basket, was my handkerchief and room key. And beside it was Lily's diamond necklace. I was halfway across the terrace, and the lights around the pool went out. Somebody had pulled the main switch. I stopped and listened, waiting. But when it came, I was caught off guard. Somebody hit me and knocked me into the water. When I came up, I heard someone swimming. Whoever it was had come into the pool after me. I made the side, grabbed hold of the ledge with my left hand, drew back the wrench in my right. As the slashing came close, I lifted it and swung.
Hey, what's going on over there?
Marshal! Marshal! Over here with that flashlight.
What happened to the light?
Switch was pulled. Here, help me get him out of the water.
Yeah.
Let me have it. There we are. His luck ran out, Marshal. This time, I had the wrench.
That swimmer fella, huh? Eddie Lawson.
Yeah. I found the necklace in the strainer of the filler system, where it's been all the time. He was lying when he said he was in a pool when Louie hit the jackpot. He went in right afterward. During the excitement, took the diamonds with him. Joan knew he was lying, and she figured out what he'd done. He was a smart kid. Too smart. Sorry to wake you, Lily, but...
Good heavens, wait, let me put on some makeup. I must look a positive fright.
I got your diamonds back, Lily.
Oh, you did?
Here.
Thank you.
Which one of your boyfriends? Why don't you give up, Lily? Time moves along. The years add up.
I'm not harming anyone.
Aren't you? Joan is dead. Eddie killed her over these diamonds of yours.
Dead? She's dead?
It's all right, though, as long as you're not harming anyone.
But how can I know? I didn't mean any harm to that poor girl. Eddie could have had the diamonds if I'd known. They didn't matter, Johnny. Just a gift a long time ago. I don't even remember who it was.
JVJ? Those are the initials on the clasp.
That's who it was. Jones. Some fool named Jonathan Vanderley Jones. They didn't mean a thing to me.
Expense account item 6. $51.40. Hotel charges and additional miscellaneous. Expense account total, $418.40. Remarks? Suggest you reconsider this account. Client should be regarded as a bad risk. it'll happen again. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Remember, friends, wherever you are, whatever you do, enjoy chewing Wrigley's Spearmint Gum. That lively, full-bodied Wrigley Spearmint flavor is really refreshing. It cools your mouth, moistens your throat, helps keep you feeling fresh and comfortable. The smooth, pleasant chewing helps keep you feeling relaxed, too. So you naturally feel better, work better, get more fun out of doing things. Remember, too, Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum is a refreshing treat you can enjoy almost any time and any place. Just slip a stick into your mouth whenever you want it. Do as millions do. Keep Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum handy and enjoy it often every day. That's Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum. Healthful, refreshing, delicious. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, brought to you by Wrigley Spearmint Chewing Gum, stars John Lund in the title role and was written by Les Crutchfield with music by Eddie Dunstetter.